Pursuit here. CHP following this vehicle. We don't know what the original want is. There's the LA County Sheriff's helicopter. Are we going on the web or are we going on TV? Here we go, making a U-turn. Oh, perfect opportunity for a pit maneuver. He was able to evade that pit maneuver right there. Now we're going back westbound on Valley Boulevard, back toward the 710 freeway. Yeah, bring it on, whatever you guys want. TV or is it the web? Okay, bring it on. Might be going back onto the freeway here. Looks like we'll be entering the 710 freeway here shortly. We'll break it, guys. Here we go. Re-entering the 710 freeway. Re-entering the 710 freeway here. Ready whenever you are. Michael, this is a very dangerous pursuit. We picked this pursuit up in East LA, News Chopper 4 Alpha. We were in the area. We heard California Highway Patrol pursuing this vehicle. We missed what the original want is. You can see that's California Highway Patrol right behind there. Looks like we're making the transition onto the 10 freeway, which may take us onto the 101 in downtown. Here's what we know. They were following this vehicle at about 90 miles per hour through Alhambra on the eastbound side of the 10 freeway. Vehicle exited it at Garfield Avenue, and that's where some passengers got out of the vehicle and ran onto the freeway. The driver remained, took off, and then went back onto the 10 westbound, flipped a U-ey, and now we're traveling 10 westbound here, coming up into the East LA interchange. High rate of speeds right now. We're looking at, going to clock this guy here. Please going at about 90 miles per hour. So we're checking at about 90 miles per hour eastbound on the 10 freeway, coming up on the 5 here in Boyle Heights. Again, at least one occupant. There were originally 4 people in the vehicle. A couple of them took off and ran. CHP still pursuing this vehicle at a very high rate of speed right now. We're clocking just under 100 miles per hour. We are in Boyle Heights. We're on the 10 freeway traveling westbound, approaching County General Hospital. So we're in that area. The I-5 Golden State Freeway is going to be the next major interchange. You can see the vehicle in the left lane traveling very dangerously. High rate of speeds. Look at that guy weaving in and out of traffic right now. I'm tracking him. I'm looking at him right now. 105 miles per hour. This is a very dangerous pursuit. If anything, fortunately, it's on a freeway where, you know, these speeds are not so dangerous as far as being on surface streets. But right now, CHP, that's a K9 unit. I heard his dog barking in the background as he was calling out the location. They do want a K9 unit to be one of those primary units right there. You can see that CHP vehicle doing the best he can. Right there down below, you see K9 right on top of that vehicle. So that dog will be utilized if this turns into any type of foot pursuit. Well, he's turn right now, Michael, but I can pretty much assume right now, I'm trying to find out where we're going. It looks like into downtown LA onto the 101 freeway. So the downtown slot, 101 freeway, passing Hooper Heliport there to the right. A little bit of traffic there through downtown, nothing unusual, but nothing what we normally see. Just look at how he squeezes through some of those vehicles, picks up this dangerous speed. He gets trapped into some cars here, and then that's when we see them make those evasive maneuvers, those dangerous maneuvers. They escalate the situation. They try to squeeze between vehicles, and in doing so, they create a dangerous situation for everybody on the roadway. News Chopper 4 Alpha, the first one covering this. We're the only ones on this right now. You can see, looks like he may be exiting Alameda right here. This may be a perfect opportunity to perform a pit maneuver if he can get up behind this vehicle in time. They are behind them, and again, it's very hard for them to try to actually get into position. Southbound on Alameda as we maneuver News Chopper 4 around here. Pilot Aldo Bentavilla is doing a great job maintaining this visual for us. You can see him going southbound, so now he's heading toward downtown Los Angeles, the Santa Monica Freeway. We have LA County Sheriff helicopter above monitoring this. Here we go, through a construction zone. Look how fast he is, just blazing through that red light. No regard for anybody, no cars, no pedestrians, no construction crews. I mean, this guy is just going without any concern for anybody, and that's what makes these pursuits so darn dangerous. Yeah, I'm going to try, I want to keep a wide shot here. We're doing about 60 miles per hour right now, 60 miles per hour, still southbound on Alameda. I'm trying to maintain this shot here. Sorry about that. Still continuing almost about 80 miles per hour. Coming up on a red light here, going to pull out, light just turned green. So fortunately, that'll be a good situation there. But look how he just weaves in and out. Very dangerous pursuit. We saw this pursuit like this just the other day. My colleague Elian Moreno was covering a pursuit in Burbank where we saw XF speeds of 100 miles per hour on surface streets. Looks like we're almost able to see that here on the wrong side of the road, practically just running through that red light here. Still southbound on Alameda, making our way towards the 10, the Santa Monica Freeway. Well, they are in full pursuit right now. I really haven't been listening to them right now. I've turned it down here a little. I know what we have is the LA County Sheriff's helicopter. If anything, Michael, they will put them in what they call a tracking mode. Where's that guy? Right there by the big rig. Look how he just has to squeeze by that. We have the LA County Sheriff helicopter. He is calling the position right now. Those units may be having a trouble time keeping up with this vehicle. He's driving so erratically. You know, every time he blows a red light or anything of that nature, those police cruisers following behind, they don't do that. They have to slow down. Here we go, just coming up on that 10 freeway here. He's coming up on this intersection here. That's East 15th Street. So we're still southbound on Alameda, southbound Alameda Street. Next major street's going to be Washington. And here's an opportunity to get on the freeway, and he's skipping that. So still a dangerous surface street pursuit here. I don't see CHP close behind, which means they may be in a tracking mode, maybe actually trying to get this guy to slow down. Unfortunately, he's still driving wickedly crazy. A very dangerous pursuit here going in now to the streets of South LA. Yeah, Kathy, fortunately no accidents, but only time will make it. Oh, as he just squeezes by some of those vehicles here. You know, let me try to see if I can squeeze into this guy. Michael, earlier you were talking about dark tinted windows, so we can't see the driver right now. That is a problem for CHP as well as law enforcement. But Kathy, right now I'm clocking this guy going 95 miles per hour, 95 miles southbound on Alameda Street. We haven't. But this pursuit is extremely dangerous coming up on surface streets right now, so that's just inviting any possibility of a serious accident here with especially speeds of this caliber. I think you were asking me about the original watts. I think that's what you were asking. We don't know yet. I wasn't able to apprehend that information, but I do know CHP attempted to pull this vehicle over somewhere on the 10 freeway in Alhambra, and that's where the pursuit ensued. That was CHP East LA Division. Vehicle got off at Garfield. Look at him. He's trying to get through this traffic here. This is what makes these pursuits so dangerous going southbound on Alameda. He did exit Garfield off the 10 freeway, and that's when some passengers got out of the vehicle and actually ran onto the freeway, but the driver continued. We followed this vehicle. We picked it up on the 10 westbound as it made its way through Monterey Park at Atlantic, and just look how he is accelerating right now. Speeds 95 miles per hour. Looks like he's going to be touching 100 here anytime shortly. No business for any speeds like that. And Michael, I can almost guarantee they put this in a tracking mode. Public safety, #1 concern. They do not want anybody to get injured, and considering what the watts may be an indication of whether or not they'll continue this pursuit. Here we go. Wrong side of the road. Wrong side of the road. Cross traffic right here. Yeah, and again, I'm trying to listen to the CHP. Original want is no plates on the vehicle. I just heard that right now. Original want, no plates on the vehicle. So, you know, they're trying to do a routine traffic stop, and again, in law enforcement, no traffic stop is routine. But obviously, you can see with this situation, driving along, no plates on this vehicle, try to pull it over. So you have to counterbalance here and weigh the factor. Is it worth it to continue a high-speed, dangerous pursuit like this? That's the watch commander's decision right now. So most likely, they put it in a tracking mode. But if anything right here, you may have a stolen vehicle. We're on East Gary Avenue here. So now we're traveling westbound here, headed toward the 110 freeway. So we're going towards the 110 freeway right off of Alameda, coming up on a red light. Yeah, that's exactly it right now. We still have the LA County helicopter, LA County Sheriff's helicopter. It looks like he went through some movie shoot area or some type of closed street. I'll get you the street here in a minute, but right now this vehicle is still traveling at a high rate of speed. I'll get the street here in a second. You can't even see law enforcement behind, Kathy. This is primarily a pursuit now being followed by the LA County Sheriff helicopter, who's relaying information to units down below. We've got a red light here. As he comes upon this red light, look how he just nudges his way through this traffic, and he's approaching Florence Avenue. So this cross street here will be Florence Avenue. Look, just bumping that car, trying to get him out of the way. And this vehicle, person just sitting in that blue car, just waiting, not knowing what's happening. And that's what happens. They get into these situations where they escalate to the severity of this. And here he goes, approaching Florence Avenue. Look, guy on a skateboard. Literally, just no concern for anybody. And that's why these pursuits are so dangerous. Now we're eastbound on Florence Avenue, making a southbound turn here on a dead-end street. Pilot's telling me it's a dead-end street, so let's see what happens here. He's bailing. Yeah. Check this dude out. Nonchalant, walking around. He knows no law enforcement is around him. This is Beach Street. This is Beach Street right off of Florence Avenue. Kind of just jogging right now because he knows no law enforcement is behind him. However, the LA County Sheriff helicopter is above. We're watching him and we'll follow the best we can here on News Chopper 4 Avenue, but now he's running toward Graham Avenue. So one male individual running towards Graham Avenue right now. Law enforcement trying to set up to make the takedown. Well, yeah, and Michael, somebody like this who was driving so crazy, now he's running along the tracks here just off near Florence and Alameda. This is going to be west of Alameda. Who's to say what this guy would do? I mean, if that vehicle had no plates, is it stolen? Was it stolen in the commission of a crime, a carjacking or something of that nature? These are questions law enforcement definitely are trying to answer. Dispatchers are definitely working vigorously behind the scene, getting all this information to law enforcement. But you can see he's running in circles. He's running back towards, away from Florence Avenue. So he's running in a southbound direction here through these train tracks. Sometimes they run into buildings here. We'll get him on the other side here. We're trying to maneuver News Chopper 4, but you can see there he is. I got you, buddy. Ain't going anywhere. Southbound there on those train tracks here. We'll let you know what the major cross street is, but I can hear law enforcement organizing. They're trying to get units in here, but Michael, we've seen this many times. Give them a couple of minutes of running like this. They run out of breath, and they just sometimes just give up. Yeah, he knows the chopper's above him. You know, when he got out, look at these guys right here. They probably see what's going on, and they're pointing to law enforcement, and they're looks like they may be pointing to law enforcement right there. There's your law enforcement. They looks like sheriff's department. So we're gonna have a good old foot pursuit here in a second. But this guy is going to be taken into custody here. He's looking back. He's going to get tired. He's already slowing down. Hands up. He's tired. Most likely he's going to just lay down here shortly because from when he first started running to now, it's been about 3.5, 4 minutes. This guy already appears to be tired. Best way to do is just give it up. But he's not. I mean, look at him. He's still going strong. He's going to climb this fence onto this personal property here. This is somebody's private property. Wow, just made that jump here. So we're going to try to see what he is doing, but he is not going to give up anytime soon right now. Thank you. Law enforcement coming in on the other side, right there. Well, it is. And you know what? Law enforcement, the best thing they can do is lead law enforcement to where this individual is. There he is. Let's push a little forward, Aldo, so we can see him. County Sheriff's finally coming up on scene right now. And law enforcement is appreciative, but don't get involved right now. You don't know if this individual is armed or anything of that nature. We're just maneuvering the helicopter right now. This is right off of May Avenue here. So we're just doing some abrupt maneuvers here to get you a good shot here. But you can see suspect is in custody, resisting just a little. But fortunately, this high-speed pursuit, Kathy, earlier you were asking if there are any accidents. We did not see any accidents. And with those speeds on Southern California roadways, very fortunate that was not the case. Vehicle might be stolen, hearing possible reports of that. But right now, one suspect is in custody here. We'll get you a little more information as to exactly where we are. But it looks like we may be actually in near the Florence Southgate area.
That vehicle pulling off to the right here. And it looks like the front right side of that vehicle could be damaged as well, Alex and Marla.
Wow, yeah.
Squeezing through there, too.
Yeah,
Look at that, right on the rims.
We don't see motorcycle officers involved all that often in these pursuits, so that was kind of an interesting thing to see there. As we now drive right near the coastline, this is a familiar sight for anybody that's used to that area.
Down at the stoplights and not driving overly recklessly. He did slide through on the far right shoulder there when he came upon all of that traffic. But again, CHP pursuing this individual, failure to yield. The driver allegedly was going too fast and they lit her up, and they didn't pull over, and their pursuit was on. And that's what we're seeing in the CHP. The California Highway Patrol is still the lead agency, and typically the CHP monitors all our interstates, our freeways, but they will hop off and continue on if that infraction did occur on the freeway.
And we're just getting word that this officially was called in 32 minutes ago at 4:20.
Very dangerous stretch of PCH. There are times where there is no divider, and if there's any type of a situation where that vehicle would meander into oncoming traffic, that could be really dangerous.
Yeah, and this is the area, for people that are familiar with it, you keep driving, you're eventually going to hit the Huntington Beach Pier. which is obviously a very busy area. Now we're going the wrong way.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about right there. And crossing over, that's a red light right there.
Ooh.
You see the police officer there on the bottom right?
That's right. They are positioning themselves. That's what they do. They will position, being that this guy or gal, whoever's being pursued, is staying the course on Pacific Coast Highway, heading southbound out of Long Beach, now into Huntington Beach, towards Newport Beach. Being that they're staying on Pacific Coast Highway, the jurisdiction of the California Highway Patrol is on any highway. They don't have to stay on the freeways. They're the lead agency. They're staying, but they will call. They'll make sure that Huntington Beach Police knows about this. Newport Beach Police knows about it. And there will be that multi-agency situation. Right, here we go. Looks like
okay, this would be the time to try it.
He slowed down a little bit there. We say that that threshold is 35 miles per hour, but we've seen it. We've seen that pit maneuver occur at speeds higher than that. Trying to box him in there a little bit, making a left turn. Let's see what they try to do. Yeah, this cruiser's on him.
They're aggressive.
Very. But now you're going to see the driver take off again, hit the gas, just like we saw last time, continuing southbound on Pacific Coast Highway here through Orange County. And all those Orange County agencies are aware of what's happening here. And what they want to do is bring this pursuit to a safe ending, to a safe conclusion without anybody, any innocent pedestrian, bicyclist, or motorist out there getting injured. Here we go. It's really a cat and mouse situation because it seems like that sedan slows down a bit as well.
I mean, when you think about a situation for a pit maneuver, a lot of this is kind of perfect, right? Pretty wide open area.
Threading the needle there.
But now moving into an area where that's going to be much harder to do.
So that's a Toyota Camry. Tinted windows there, 4-door. Here we go. Maybe trying it.
Try it. Let's see.
Wow. And I'll tell you, it does seem like the individual being pursued at this time kind of slows down and is sort of trying to play with these CHP officers here, but then picks up once it happens. Balboa Boulevard, southbound on Pacific Coast Highway, through Orange County. Moderate traffic at this time. Both sides of PCH this time of day are typically on the moderate side. Northbound side is usually a little bit heavier. We are seeing that at the very top of your screen here. So this cruiser coming up on the side here, and where it's divided, where you have that island or that K-wall, which separates both north and southbound side. Now getting on to Costa Mesa, Newport. This is Newport Boulevard now. Let's see what happens here. Making that tight on-ramp there. And now heading in we say PCH is north and southbound there, but the way that the coast winds here in Southern Cal, whoa, really picking up speeds there. That was a dangerous move there. And that's what we're seeing here, Alex and Marla, is that at times the driver slows down a bit and is cautious. There's that motorcyclist, so the motorcyclist is there too. And as you mentioned, Alex, that we don't see that very often. It does occur. What's this guy trying to do here? Trying to pull over to the right. Don't try to be a hero ever. Please let officers do their job. I think
the guy was just trying to get out of the way.
Yeah, perhaps.
I don't want any part of this.
That's possible. That's very possible. But this is a good teachable moment always. That and it looks like it may have lost its bumper. That's what it looks like. That Camry lost its bumper, and unclear if that occurred during this pursuit. Now in Costa Mesa city limits, so we're heading northbound out of the Huntington Newport area. And now we have a lot of traffic here, and this driver is agitated, trying to get away. We've seen the driver run a couple of lights already, driving at very high rates of speed, and that is the initial want on this driver, that the CHP was tracking this driver, high rates of speed, lit him up, didn't pull over for whatever reason, and the pursuit was on. And it's been on freeways and on surface streets now.
I'm curious the role of the motor officer, Rick or Alex, Rick, if you know. In covering all these pursuits all these years, I've never seen a motor officer involved.
You know, it's one of those situations that if they're in that place where the pursuit is occurring and they want to try to get some help. Yep, it looks like they're, okay, we got to look at the driver there. Look like a male, Newport Boulevard there, made a right turn onto 17th Street. Costa Mesa borders Newport Beach down there in Orange County. And this is a busy area. It's the 5 o'clock hour now. We're approaching it within a minute or so. And there's a lot of action on the roadways, and this driver is doing whatever they can to evade police. Why do they run? A lot of people ask, Alex and Marla. Because they're not in custody yet. Because there's still a chance that they could get away. We've seen that happen on occasion, but
it started in the city of Long Beach, and then that was on Pacific Coast Highway. PCH moved into Huntington Beach. Now we are in the Costa Mesa area. We have a motor officer involved in this one, CHP, the lead agency. This was all picked up in Long Beach for failing to stop, and really the want is speed. This driver speeding. We've gotten a look at the driver, Rick, and it doesn't appear that there is anyone else in the vehicle, but that's just from this vantage point. There very well could be, and always, officers always assume that the suspect is armed, Rick.
And I look, and you're absolutely right, and we've seen just recently a tragic situation in Riverside County where it was a, quote, routine traffic stop. but no traffic stop is routine. And that was because of some sort of vehicle violation. And that is where that Riverside County deputy lost their life. But here we have a lot of support. It looks like that with this Camry, it does appear that both perhaps the back bumper and the front bumper off the vehicle. You see that in the front right there?
Whoa.
It's missing something. And on the back as well. Unclear again if that damage occurred during the pursuit. We picked this pursuit up about 15 minutes ago. Still moving through the Costa Mesa area, bordering Newport Beach, picking up speeds here. Our extreme nav system is on it always for you. And you can see how fast this vehicle is going. This individual who's being pursued by the California Highway Patrol. Now we're getting on the 55 freeway. The double nickel there, down by John Wayne Airport here in Orange County, heading northbound up towards what would be the 405 freeway. So lots of options, a wide open freeway, a runway there, so to speak, that this driver is trying to evade the California Highway Patrol. Again, just a simple failure to yield, high speeds, didn't pull over. Now he's ripping down the 55 freeway at 100 miles an hour, endangering everybody on that freeway.
Yeah, this looks like a NASCAR race, and it's quite something, Marla, how wide open this freeway is at 5 o'clock at night as well.
Yeah, a lot different than on those surface streets. And so that's right when we see, look at 110 miles per hour, just as Rick said, ripping through the 55 south right now. And now we talk about strategy. And this completely changes everything because obviously pit maneuver is not an option. Spike strips are, but that's when it comes to strategizing to get ahead of the driver, Rick. And I know you have something to say.
No, just to put this into perspective, the location. So it's the 55 north coming out of Costa Mesa and Newport Beach. You'll be hitting the 73 toll road. That would be an option. I am seeing a little bit more in the way of traffic on the 55 north as you approach the 405 by South Coast Plaza. Here we go, making an exit on the 55. There's the 405 option I just spoke of. So we'll see what happens here.
Is he willing to pay the toll?
There you go. Unlikely.
And that is the fastest way to go.
And we talk about all of those infractions, those vehicle infractions, the initial speed, all the lights that he ran through. Yes, the California Highway Patrol can log all of those, keep track of them, and list all of those once they do. And hopefully they will bring this guy into custody without any else, if anybody was harmed during this pursuit, because we do see some damage, unclear, no confirmation that the front and back bumper were lost during this pursuit, but that vehicle does not look like it's in good shape in terms of the front or back, but it has not been compromised in terms of its ability to move, because we've seen it move in excess of 100 miles an hour thanks to our extreme nav system. Took the 73. There you go, Alex. He's on the toll road there.
Yeah. So in addition to the red light issues, they'll have to deal with the tolls later on as well.
There you go. That's right. He's going to be lit up by those sensors as he passes underneath them. 73 here. Making his way or her way. It appeared that it was a male from our vantage point here. This is down near John Wayne Airport, near the South Coast Plaza here in the heart of Orange County, behind the orange curtain, as they like to say in the past here. And again, this is just the CHP attempting to pull this driver over for high rates of speed. Didn't pull over, and the pursuit was on here. 405 freeway now. So from the 73 onto the 405. Into the carpool lanes there. There are a lot of carpool lanes. We'll see if that's the route he chooses to take, and we're assuming it is a male. Unclear if there's a new CHP unit that is trailing. That's an Orange County unit there from the California Highway Patrol. We were in LA County when this pursuit started, Alex and Marla.
Yeah, so when this pursuit was called in, that was almost an hour ago at 4:20 in the city of Long Beach on PCH, on the picturesque PCH, as Alex pointed out, and then that driver took us through Huntington Beach, and now here we are at
South Coast Drive.
South Coast Drive.
South Coast Plaza. You all know it, that mall, one of the most popular malls down there in Orange County, right off the 405 freeway. Lots of traffic needling their way through here.
They've got good taste in terms of locations. I mean, some of the more beautiful spots in Southern California we're getting a tour of right now as we approach sunset here in Southern California. But look at this desperation getting off the freeway.
Wow. Yep, and those vehicles are doing exactly what they should be. Slowly pull over to the right if you can safely. Don't try to don't try to box the vehicle in any way. You don't know what you're dealing with. This individual, you have to assume, armed, obviously not in a good frame of mind, could be under the influence, running from the police here, doing whatever they can to get away from the police. Front and back end damage to this vehicle. Unclear again if that's the result of this pursuit, if it happened earlier before we picked it up. But bottom line is this driver is driving recklessly here down in Orange County. Exiting the freeway, Harbor Boulevard was the exit there from the 405 freeway.
I'm looking here because on various angles, I was seeing if it was paper plates on this vehicle.
Yeah, good point, because they did appear to have that white border there. It's possible. We'll see. It's a four-door Camry, and right across this intersection, red light right there. You can see because all the traffic in the direction that they were headed was halted there. Harbor Boulevard here, continuing on South Harbor Boulevard, a wide open street here now, making a hard left, a 180. Yeah, made that tight. Oh, tried the pit move there. Just missed. He hit him. He got him.
He did.
The
Made
pit maneuver
contact.
didn't work, but that was a good time to do it, especially when he was making that hard 180 there.
Yeah, and we saw, for those just joining us perhaps, we've seen some aggressive pursuit driving.
Here we go. We're going to try it again. It looks like this guy's going to go, hey, we're done here. We're done.
Whoa,
That's right.
there we go.
And we got him. We pitted him here, but is the vehicle, it's very dangerous here. They're going to try to swing back, box him in on the back, so we can't do a little, turnaround here. Now, this is where it gets dangerous. The officers are giving this motorist clear instructions. This is very important as we watch this. Law enforcement helicopter down in the dirt there about 400 or 500 feet. K-9 unit on the scene there as well, which is great. Those are officers. That dog is an officer that is trained, that puts themselves into danger just like the officers do. Now, what's happening here? They're giving the driver clear instructions to get out, hands up. It looks like we're seeing some hands. It looks like perhaps we're seeing some hands there through the windshield.
We've seen this before, though, where the driver has literally driven off.
Yeah, they could.
Back up, and it looks like they
go in reverse.
They could just a little back up into that little driveway there, and then another right turn. Okay, looks like they are.
Oh, they are.
Yep, they're going to abide by the police's in the California Highway Patrol's command here, and hands out, hands clearly visible. K-9 unit standing by. There's the left hand.
This guy does not want.
And it is a male, as we suspected, doing what they're told here, and then they'll be told to lay flat on the pavement. Looks like this seatbelt's still kind of strapped around his left arm there, so he's trying to free himself from. Now he's free from there. He's doing exactly what he's been told. Walk backwards. K-9 is very agitated there, and down on his knees, flat. And then the lead officer will come up, will pat this individual down.
Out of the vehicle, now running for it. There comes another passenger out of the back seat. These kids are struggling, and look at this. He's getting back in the vehicle. Another one back in the vehicle, and finally, CHP in the pursuit now. Right behind, is that CHP or sheriffs? Yeah, CHP right behind him here. We're going to forget about that one passenger, but we now know of the driver and at least one other passenger. These were young men that jumped out of that vehicle, and now the pursuit continues through the Santa Clarita Valley. Guys, this is very, very dangerous.
Extremely dangerous.
Right, considered armed, all three of them, so that's a very dangerous situation there. And just the way he's driving through
oh
these.
My gosh.
Oh, and coming lanes of traffic going the wrong way now. Jumped that median, and he is continuing the wrong way on Valencia Boulevard, approaching Railroad Avenue. Look at this, continuing with LAP. Look at this. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness.
That was close.
A near head-on collision. Very, very close. A very close call there. One of several that we've seen here, and it's just getting more and more aggressive by the second. At least he's going the right way now, but showing no signs of slowing down.
Not at all.
And I think about that guy who jumped out of the vehicle, and then now he jumped back in the vehicle, and how did he change his destiny when it comes to how this thing's going to play out? It's so dangerous the way they're driving right now. If they are insistent on continuing this is not going to end in a good way. It's going to be a tragedy.
Yeah, I think he saw an opportunity to drop his buddies off, and then the one kid saw the cop pulling up behind him, and he figured, let me just get back in the vehicle. That's what it seems like happened there, but they have no chance of getting away after this. I mean, this is absolutely a dangerous pursuit that law enforcement just can't let this go. This has to come to a stop immediately. So you're going to see this entire area flooded with black and whites here within the next few minutes as he continues now through this parking lot and now coming back out the other side, back onto Valencia Boulevard, getting around that traffic. Soledad, and what was that? Bouquet Canyon and Soledad, got it. So he's on Bouquet Canyon now, off of Soledad, continuing westbound away from Magic Mountain.
All right, so he's flying down in Santa Clarita right now. Luckily, though, and I'm not familiar with the traffic patterns in Santa Clarita, but these roads look wide open. The dangerous part of that is he could really open up the speed and get moving on this vehicle that, again, I'll reemphasize, it's going to be really hard to stop if it has to.
Yeah, the further away he gets from the 5, you can see traffic is a lot less. Opens up the road, as you mentioned, but at the same time, there's just traffic in the way here to really get somebody hurt, especially if he continues driving like this, blowing through red lights. And I really hope we don't see him get back into oncoming lanes of traffic. He jumped over that median without any hesitation whatsoever, and you saw just how close he came to another head-on collision. But at least he's back going he's going eastbound on Soledad, and now making a left turn into what appears to be an apartment complex or a condominium. A U-turn through the entrance there. Now going to okay, he's going in circles. He's really toying with this officer here, just doing a circle around this group of cars, and he's into this apartment complex now, which I think leads him to a dead end. We'll widen out just a second and see if that's the case. You can see LAPD with their airship overhead, California Highway Patrol on the ground down there, now face-to-face with this CHP officer. He's going for a run. They're both jumping out. Driver and passenger jumping out of the vehicle, running through this apartment complex. Unfortunately, only that one officer that we saw here. Not sure if they're familiar with this complex, if they live in this area, no idea, but in any event, they're running through through here on private property, waiting for more deputies to arrive on scene. I'm not sure that one CHP cruiser is going to be able to catch up with them here, but they are continuing to race through these condos here in Santa Clarita. We'll see where this takes them.
All right. Sorry, go ahead, Giovanna.
Just Chris Christie. This is Giovanna Lotta, and alongside Mark Brown. We're joining you now. And what a wild pursuit. These guys are driving, or have been driving, so dangerously, and now we are looking at them running through this complex, putting the people who live here likely in danger.
That's right. Trying to get the name of this apartment complex one more time. But the good news is that LAPD still has their airship overhead. He's able to call out the location and get those officers, even though this is a mutual aid situation. They're going to get the LA County Sheriff's Department involved here as they scale these fences, jumping through backyards, zigzagging their way through this apartment complex. It's now been several minutes since they've lost that initial pursuing officer. Look at this, hiding in the bushes now, looking for any nook or cranny to hide out, thinking they might be able to get away with this. These are two suspects of three. One suspect jumping out of the vehicle, the moving vehicle, earlier in the pursuit, and now these two looking for a hiding spot. But they have just way too many eyes on them at this point, guys.
Yeah, you know, if we can see them, we know the sheriffs can see them, and the LAPD can see them, at least from their airship. They're not getting away. Can you give me some a sense of the location here? We know it's Santa Clarita, and it's a volatile situation. Here's the problem. If you live in this area, they've gone through backyards, and they're going to look to see if there's any open or unlocked doors.
Open
if you
doors.
live here,
Yep.
Lock your doors immediately. Lock your doors just as soon as you can. There are two people armed, possibly armed, thought to have been armed, who are now running around in your neighborhood, going through backyards.
One more time, Jay. Yeah, that's right, Mark. Trying to get across street here. We're just off of Soledad Canyon Road, and again, trying to get an exact location. Thank you for that, Jay. Yeah, they're moving towards this pool area. It looks like a pretty big apartment complex. They're on the rear side of it now, just looking for a spot to hide out. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you the name of this side street that they're coming up on. Actually, looks like more of a bike path potentially behind the apartment
complex.
complex.
There's people there. There's folks there.
Look at this. They're now approaching the pool with people in the pool, people enjoying their Wednesday afternoon, and these two are just running right along the pool deck looking for a hiding spot. We have to remind you, these two are believed to be armed. As they run through here, they're believed to be armed Grand Theft Auto suspects that now pose
and now
a
they're
danger
surrendering
to this community, but apparently they see law enforcement within their line of sight here. There's the officers with their guns drawn, approaching the suspects. Thankfully, appears they're finally giving up.
One LAPD, one LA County Sheriff deputy, both approaching these suspects with guns drawn. They immediately drop to the ground. That's the good news. The people in the pool. There was looked like a little girl getting a swimming lesson out there.
Appear that way,
They've all cleared the pool. They're out. Everybody's out of harm's way. The little kid being hustled away. Everybody leaving. So they are out of harm's way. No shots have been fired. Those suspects proned out. Now following the orders of the two law enforcement officers from two different agencies who have managed to stop them. This is off Soledad Canyon Road. And we're going to try to get the cross street or that bike path that's nearby. There's a wash that runs back behind it.
Yes, Kurt just came in here and he said he's very familiar with Santa Clarita and told us that is a bike path that runs along the wash there. But what a relief. I've been so tense watching this. It was just so dangerous.